explore a range of works by different 19th century composers, let's consider the central question. What were the main currents of Romanticism, both inside and outside of music? Some answers can be uncovered by comparing landscape architecture of the 18th and 19th centuries. Gardens in the classical era were laid out formally with studied geometric design. They reflected the ideals of balance, proportion, and symmetry that marked the era. At the same time, they were a manifestation of man's desire to impose a rational order on a world that was, by nature, random and irrational. Gardens created during the Romantic era tried to mirror nature unchecked, celebrating uniqueness over uniformity. Just as a classical garden might have delighted the 18th century mind with its logical design, a Romantic garden sought to delight the senses and evoke an emotional response in the beholder. Heightened emotionalism was a key component of all things romantic. In classical art and literature, the collective experience was expressed from an objective point of view. In Romanticism, the individual came into focus with the artist expressing a subjective and very personal view of the world. Nature was exalted, often symbolizing and reflecting the artist's inner life and struggles. The imagination was set free, giving the artist license to explore the macabre and the bizarre, the fantastic and the exotic. So how were these romantic gestures translated into the music of 19th century composers? Melodies in the Romantic era became less symmetrical, less predictable, and more expansive. Sometimes their long, unwinding phrases conveyed an aching feeling of longing or yearning, what Germans call Sehnsucht. Harmony became increasingly bolder, with chromatic harmony gaining prominence. Composers explored more distant key relationships and modulations than those practiced by earlier composers. They continued to experiment with form and construction. Musical works were often conceived on a grand architectural scale, with long and musically complex movements. Orchestral music embraced programmatic elements by exploring the interconnections between music, literature, and art. At the same time, composers also explored miniature musical genres. In doing so, the lead and the solo character piece were elevated to the highest musical plane. The dynamic range of music was expanded dramatically. Sharp and unexpected contrasts of volume became characteristic of Romantic music. The symphony orchestra grew in size and makeup. The spectrum of orchestral color became increasingly rich, from the shrill tones of the piccolo down to the primal sounds of the contrabassoon and tuba. The piano underwent a number of technological improvements, becoming the instrument that we know today. The cult of the virtuoso was launched, and music moved from the exclusive realm of the aristocratic salon to the public concert hall. The 19th century German writer Jean-Paul once declared, "Romanticism is beauty without bounds, the beautiful infinite." If you tried to distill your understanding of Romanticism into a single sentence, how would you describe it?